Why is Gen Z so poor? Word around is Gen Z is having a hard time, even harder than millennials. So, with that being said, y'all know I'm gonna hop right into this. What's smoking all my dragons, divine righteous, almighty greats, overachieving, never slacking. Now, I was looking at this article and it said millennials had it bad, which I'm a millennial, and yeah, we had our pros and our cons, but yeah, it was definitely not the easiest. Millennials had it bad financially, but Gen Z may have it worse. Today's young adults are spending more on housing and car insurance than millennials did. They are also more likely to be in debt despite higher wages and more jobs. That's insane to me because the fact that it could get any worse. Now, obviously, Donald Trump had his inauguration yesterday, so hopefully that means a turn in the tides here. Things are going to change. So let's keep our hopes high and put out good vibrations. I know there's a lot of people that are like, what? That guy's crazy and this and that. Listen, us as a people got to start to understand our power no matter who's president. We got to start to understand that. Listen, if we come together and if we speak and if we believe and if we stop being so divided and separated, we have a lot more power than we think. Hopefully you guys hear what I'm saying on that. It says move over millennials, moving over. There's a new generation being wild up by the economy. Generation Z has been disproportionately pummeled by rising prices. That almost sounds like a tongue twister there. Disproportionately pummeled by rising prices, higher housing costs, larger student loan balances, and more overall debt than the millennials before them. Mm. While both generations came of age in the midst of an economic upheaval, Gen Z is spending more on necessities than millennials did at the same age, according to a Washington Post analysis of Bureau of Labor Statistics data. While millennials are between 28 and 43, yep, I'm 31, so that's about right. Gen Z generally refers to those ages 12 to 27. Now, I know it's hard because even when you look around and there's so much stuff you want to buy, you know, um, there's so much. It's like you want to keep up with a lot of people want to keep up with the Jones, right? If y'all remember that old saying, keeping up with the Joneses, a lot of people more than ever because idol worship is bigger than ever. I mean, it's fallen now. It's definitely but even what average people, right, say on TikTok, it's not like back in the day where with celebrities you had certain celebrities that you knew like this is a big celebrity, that's a big celebrity, A-listers. Nowadays you got people who are everyday people just constantly blowing up, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, just all these different social media platforms. So they're constantly, people want to know what this person's wearing, or people want to buy this, people want to buy that, and that keeping up with the Jones, that's very serious nowadays. And then to have to struggle with necessities on top of that, yeah, you definitely got to prioritize properly. So that's my advice to you, Gen Zers out there. So far, Gen Z workers are more likely to go to college, okay, have jobs and make more money than millennials did, but they are also paying 31% more for housing than their counterparts were a decade ago, right? After adjusting for inflation, spending on car insurance by people 16 and 24 more than doubled between 2012 and 2022, right? 2012 and 2022. BLS data shows while health insurance spending for that age group is up 46% after inflation. By comparison, inflation adjusted earnings for the cohort have risen much less in the same period by 26%, federal data shows. Okay, Gen Z consumers have seen their finances significantly impacted by the pandemic and its aftermath, even more so than the challenges faced by millennials as a result of the global financial crisis. So I'm gonna stop it right there. Yeah, I do feel for Gen Zers as far as that pandemic, man. I mean, yeah, I feel for my generation too. I feel for everybody went through it. But with Gen Zers being so much younger, that really did affect a lot of their youth, right? It definitely caused a lot of paranoia, which I'm sure uh, impacted their thoughts on the finances too. So yeah, I definitely, man, because us millennials, we was enjoying our 20s. That's a fact. Our 20s, teens, we had fun. We didn't worry about having to cover our mouths. We didn't have to worry about not being able to be in groups and riding bikes. We still hitting the movies. We doing the most. So yeah, I definitely, whew, that definitely sucks. But right now, we're gonna hop into a couple TikToks. I ain't gonna play too much. We just gonna hop into a couple from Gen Z. Hear from Gen Z themselves on what they done went through or what they be going through. Here we go.
I'm gonna say this right now. I don't ever want to hear anything about how this generation doesn't want to work anymore. I have applied, I'm not even joking, I've applied to upwards of 40 jobs and I have gotten one interview. One. And it's not like I'm using like my degree to get a job. No, this is for like to work in a restaurant, to work at like a pizza place. And
If it's that bad, that's sad. Seriously. I mean, I've been through stuff like that living in New York City. Um, I would say 20. What year was it? What year when I moved out there? I was like 16, 17. So it was a while ago, but it was definitely harder. I feel like what they got now is the gig economy, and the gig economy, which I've utilized many times, is can be very beneficial. Also, let me give a shout out to Emmanuel Cook for putting this TikTok together. You know, original link will be in the description, but we're gonna hop into this again.
I'm not getting anything. And I've called back, I've come into these places, and they've been like, yeah, totally, thanks for coming in, we'll call you back, and then I never hear anything back. I'm gonna lose it. I need a job.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
My generation is fucking crazy. I just have to say, like, we take nothing seriously. Like, what needs to like happen for us to be like, oh shit, and to lock in and not make a meme or a joke about it? Like, I feel like every time that there's something serious that has gone down, there's a new meme about it, or someone's like making a joke about it, and it could be like the most serious thing happening in the world, and there's some sort of like, my generation just cannot take anything seriously. I don't know.
Oh, and another thing, to the parents who think it's okay to kick their kids out at 18 because they grown and they need to figure out life, you ain't shit, ain't never gonna be shit, and you wonder why your kids can't break generational curses. Tuh.
If you're in your 20s and the thoughts running through your head are, please make this stop, when will this end, I'm tired, this video is for you. And everyone will just tell you, just keep going, don't give up, just keep going. And there is just so much truth to that. All you really need to do is by hour by hour, day by day, you just need to stay steady the course. You don't need to change things. You don't need to pivot. You don't need to do anything crazy or outlandish to make that feeling go away, because that feeling is supposed to be there. You're supposed to feel lost in your 20s. And here's the thing. I've come to this conclusion after I journaled today, and reflecting back, I looked at my 20s and I thought, wow, my 20s were so freaking painful, but it's my 20s that became the foundation and the building blocks to be who I am today as a 30-something-year-old. If I didn't struggle in my 20s, if I didn't make mistakes, if I didn't make countless left turns and have to repivot out and figure out a new path, if I didn't go through these things, I would not be as resilient, as determined, as kind, and as empathetic, and as freaking, I don't know, relentless.
A very smart young lady. That's exactly how I feel. The pressure makes diamonds.
In pursuit of my goals, if I didn't go through that in my 20s. There were so many times in my 20s where I completely bottomed out, where I thought there is no way that I'm going to be able to get out of the hole that I dug myself into. But I did, and so will you. All you need to do is just keep going, one foot in front of the other. Truly, you just keep going, and life will show you when you need to make turns, when you need to enter in that other door. Life will literally position you in those opportunities if all you do is just keep going. You just keep moving forward. The minute you stop and you just sit in your anxiety and depression and decide this is it for me, that's when opportunities will stop showing up. Your one job in your 20s is to experiment, you keep moving forward, and you keep looking up, because I guarantee you there will be an end. There will be an end to this pain, and in your 30s, there will be a different set of pains. But that's it for another time and another story. Okay, bye.
You want to know why it seems like millennials and Gen Z are just the most depressed generations ever? It's because we are. But there's a real reason for that. Millennials and Gen Z are honestly the first two generations to see the bullshit for what it was. And not only that, we're the first two generations to actually speak out against the bullshit. Like me, for example. I'm a millennial. I'm a younger millennial. I was born in 1991, which essentially is...
I can't say we're the first to speak out, because you had some, after listening to so much music from the 60s, they had their rebellious, that whole hippie going into the 70s. No, yeah, we would be, I would feel wrong to say we the first to speak out. Now on certain topics that may seem like what they would label as pseudo science, even then, like, man, even then, because I've heard some stuff from them. We just would have to go back and really study the older generations and realize that we may be the first for it to be just all over. You don't have social media and it just to be out there the way it's out there. Like it's just a different time, right? Social media changed a lot, but we not the first to go through that at all.
Just 6 years before Gen Z. We were the generation that were told by our Gen X and Boomer parents that if you go to college, get a degree, you graduate, you get a good job, that's all you gotta do, right? So we said, all right, cool. We went to college. We got our degrees and we started to graduate in the late 2000s and early 2010s. And those degrees didn't mean a damn thing. As a result, we looked at our Boomer and Gen X parents like, why the fuck did you lie to us like that? It's not their fault. They technically didn't lie to us, because the reality of when they were growing up, yes, degrees actually mattered. In fact, a lot of our parents got turned down for jobs because they didn't have degrees. They just didn't know that the world would change right as they were telling us that. Bro, we are...
He's correct.
Really the transitional guinea pig generation. Like when I was born, VHS and cassette tapes were popular. But when I graduated college, we had already started to transition into fully digital media libraries. Literally everything ended and began with my generation. Millennials grew up with so many promises that we all thought we were gonna be straight if we just followed the formula. That was never the case, bro. So now, here we are in our early 30s, mid 30s, late, some of us even in our early 40s now, still on own homes, still in apartments, still kind of just winging it in life. And it's even crazier is the fact that the government still sees millennials as children, not realizing that the oldest millennial is in their fucking 40s, bro. We're depressed because we're in a stagnant state. You know what I'm saying? We have not been able to grow. Most millennials' lives honestly have not changed over the last 10 years. You might make a little more money than you did back in 2014, but your living circumstances and all that kind of shit, most likely, it ain't really changed much. Still living in an apartment. You either got the credit score for a house, but you don't got the income, or you got the income, but you don't got the credit. And then with the interest rates...
I remember days where you can get an apartment. I kid you not, I had an apartment. This is in central Pennsylvania, Altoona, Pennsylvania. I had got an apartment. What was it, like 400 a month for a 3-bedroom? I know that sounds crazy. It was insane. Even back in my hometown back in the day, I mean, it was normal to be able to rent out a house for 700, 650, 700, 750, 800. Like if you had that a month, you renting out a nice full house, 4-bedroom house. And you ain't have to go through the stuff you had to go through today, for sure. Today's just a different ball game, y'all. It's a different ball game, and yeah, I agree with him on so many points. And I will be coming. I'm gonna let him finish, and I'm gonna stop it there for now, because we're gonna keep going on this topic this week. But he's saying a lot of good points there, because it's like, as far as the transitional period, I spoke about this. We lived through 9/11. We lived through Bush being president. We lived through just oh man, Bill Clinton being president. We lived through Tupac and Biggie's deaths. We lived through um, just so much change. As 2012, the world was supposed to end. We went from who remembers MP3s to iPods, iPod touches, where that was fire. That was fire. I might do it. I'm gonna do a video about that today. iPod touches. iPod touches was the wave. But yeah, we did so much from just so much upgrades from video games, Xbox 360, PlayStation 2. I remember when people were still crazy about that. I mean, just all these different, but Game Boy Advance SP, and then everything just became more and more advanced. MySpace, oh wow, MySpace, everybody's on MySpace. Then that died off, and then I don't what was after Facebook. Then just this whole Snapchat. Oh wow, this and that, and we went from AOL chats to Snapchat. I mean, just so much, like so fast. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I think people are still caught in that whoa, because they're still caught in certain time periods, timelines, because it's changing so fast. We're like, hold on, I was just getting popular on Vine. I was just, and then this, and then that, and then boom, and then boom. It's like something every 5 seconds. So yeah, it's different out here for sure. But I'm gonna let him finish what he was saying.
Being so crazy, it's honestly cheaper to rent a house than it is to buy one. Not to mention that millennials and Gen Z are the generations that just been bombarded with information for our entire lives. Like, yes, awareness is good, but listen, man, too much of anything is a bad thing, and too much awareness definitely takes a toll on your mental health, man. Like everyday war, genocide, famine, gas prices, interest rates, job market. We know
Preach.
too much. It's overwhelming. Everything's expensive now. When I was in college, I used to go to McDonald's and get a McDouble, a McChicken, a large fry, and a sweet tea for $5.35. I put that same meal in my McDonald's app cart the other day. That motherfucker was $12. And our parents had the audacity to ask us, did we have McDonald's money back in the day? Motherfucker, you mean $4? But yeah, man, if it seems like millennials and Gen Z are just the most depressed and cynical ass generations, it's because we are, for a lot of valid ass reasons. None of us.
Oof, I'm gonna come back to this. We going because he going in, he cooking. We gonna be. I'm gonna continue this whole video throughout the week. We gonna keep this topic up, because this is a real topic right now, man. Seriously, it is. I remember going to the concession stands and you getting pizza for 50 cents, get you a slice of pizza. You got $5, you up. You rich. What? $5 at the concession stand, man? So we know what it's like, I remember 99 cent store, like real 99, like listen. I'll be back with more soon. Y'all drop them comments. If you enjoy this video, definitely don't hesitate to hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Shout out to Emmanuel Cook for putting this TikTok together. Original link in the description. Show him some love. And I'll be back with more soon.